Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wrestling Fans Insights Tuesday Night Chaos. I'm here with co-host Carlos. Carlos, how you doing, brother?
Good. Just yeah. Actually,
Just
this is Tuesday. It's my day off, so I'm fabulous. I'm gonna be watching. I'll be watching. I'll be in the middle of a Netflix binge watch right now.
so you really meant to say yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. And just FYI for those of you who are following us on Twitter, Carlos, you've got a space coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah. We'll do. I think I call what I call it the We'll be on. We'll be on at 7:00. It'll be like the post show for AEW Dynamite. Come on and just talk about what's going on in the show. Talk about our fandom. Hopefully we're going to talk a little bit about the build up for All In. That's some fingers crossed. But yeah, it'll be fun. We had a good wrestling discussion coming on. Definitely want to promote it. It's a safe space for you to have your opinion. Yeah, come on and talk some AEW with us, please.
And you never know who's going to pop up every once in a while. We had a fun time. We had some showing of Bryan Clark, who formerly known as Adam Bomb, and
Yep, and Wrath.
and half tag team member of Chronic from the WCW days. We also had that nasty Leroy join us again. It's always a pleasure to every time he's willing to stop by and talk a little bit of the inside of AEW there. So thank you, Leroy.
Fuck Matt Cardona. There you go. That's for you, Leroy.
That rat bastard Matt Cardona.
I like Matt Cardona, but again, for Leroy, fuck Matt Cardona.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also have Heather. Miss Heather, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Just hanging out. And I want to say something about this.
For Heather. She's horny because she saw John Moxley.
Oh my god! But no, I just want to say something about the spaces though. Like the only thing that I have a problem with is like trying to get people to be respectful of each other. Like you can talk and have your opinion, but like let someone else talk. Like don't talk over each other. That's like my only problem that I have.
But to counter what you said, though, the thing that I appreciate, though, is when John pushed the mute button, I was getting ready to hit the mute button too. But the thing was, the people came back and were respectful after that. So again, as much I agree with what you said, but again, kudos to them for handling it correctly and then giving each other that respect afterwards. So again, sometimes I think I can appreciate a passionate wrestling fan, and we do get carried away sometimes. But kudos to them for for just showing the respect after we had to kind of reel it back in.
And hopefully, from now on they'll they'll be able to do that, and because that's all that's something we all care about. We're passionate about is wrestling, but we got to learn that we got to respect each other and just be courteous and let each other have our opinion. And so hopefully from now on, since like they did come back and we're respectful from now on, that we can do that
for sure. And I've always told people my idea of my platform here is just to be a respectful internet wrestling community. Unlike what we've seen here in the past, we don't want negative. We just want people to we do want you to express your opinion, your views, be critical, but make sure you respect others too. Don't just hold the thing that you're right and they're wrong. Just know that we respect everybody's opinion. And I felt we went in a good direction, even though we had to press the mute button once. But everybody understood what we were trying to get out there, and I appreciate that with everybody who participated last Wednesday and also last night on our Monday watch along as well. So, anyways, let's get right into our takes for AEW. How did you feel about this past week's programming, Carlos?
I wasn't a big fan. I mean, honestly, again, I think sometimes we're so quick to give AEW like leeway, but I didn't think the booking was really good for it, especially for me. Like they have the chance to do something really special, to sell out Wembley Stadium and take the live attendance record from WWE. And I don't think they really are focused on that right now. I think that they're kind of celebrating the fact that they got the 70,000 or whatever it is, in there right now, but why not go for the 90? I feel like it just wasn't a good booking for it. Collision was a lot better than Dynamite, even though Collision still had its issues. But to kind of go in, so what do you guys feel about it before we go into our first question, our first topic?
Well, since we're already in the topic, we might as well go with it.
All right. So the
Yeah,
first
well,
topic for today's W is AEW's creative. And I guess for me, like the thing that I didn't really like about this past Dynamite was the fact that like I felt like you had to watch the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which was really poorly it was poorly executed. It wasn't even really pushed. And then they're coming into Dynamite and they're trying to push, this, on Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, like you need to see all this in order to understand the show. You also had Swerve, you also had AR Fox, who's been used as a jobber on Ring of Honor lately, all of a sudden show up and be a main star on Dynamite. He was actually in 2 segments. They had him fight in a match and come back to side with the Mogul Embassy later on. And then to me too, having the Lucha Brothers who've been stuck in purgatory, that is known as Ring of Honor, get the win on over John Moxley, and then the Best Friends. And lastly, the women's division altogether, there's just was a really poorly booked match. What are you guys' thoughts on AEW's creative and their build to All In, and just all how the show was for you guys all around? Go ahead and start, Heather.
Me? I don't know. Haven't really had a problem like with it. Like, I don't know. I thought the matches have been pretty good, and like I'm not understanding the whole thing with what's going on with Don Callis and Chris Jericho and all that. Like, I'm not understanding that. Why are they wanting them to go up against Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia? Like, I'm not understanding that aspect. And then like I don't understand why the women's match between Britt and Taya, why they get so much hate for it on Twitter. X. God damn it. I'm really not understanding like the shit that's going on. Like, there's been a lot of hate going on for AEW here lately, like people talking about, and I don't understand it. I thought some of the matches were awesome. So I just really don't understand it.
I think the problem is we just got too much freedom with creative and booking, and this is where you and I, Carlos, have said it many times in episodes before. And I think Heather's also mentioned it. It's time for Tony Khan to just hire a creative team and get something all on the same page. We've seen the incident in the past with CM Punk and the Elite. We're now starting to see it with the women's division, which should be a division that should be outshining all the other promotions, mind you. And all of a sudden, to Heather's point, to make up to her point with the Chris Jericho and Don Callis, now trying to break up the Jericho Appreciation Society, is we're going to see Jericho and Takeshita take on Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. I'm not quite sure how that story is going about and why it's going about. It just makes no sense. But you're right with AR Fox being booked as a jobber on Ring of Honor, but then they book him as a star here on AEW. I thought one of the interesting things was having him go full heel mode after his match with Orange Cassidy, trying to capture the AEW International Championship, which Orange Cassidy retained. But then we see him kind of do the post-match attack on Orange Cassidy. Darby Allin confronts him with the, hey, what the hell are you doing? And then later in the night, we see him join with the Mogul Embassy. I'm just a little head scratched on that because I don't recall seeing anything on Ring of Honor that would show that AR Fox was leading going toward Mogul Embassy at all whatsoever. Of course, then again, in fairness, I haven't really followed Ring of Honor too closely just because it's on its own network, which I think that's a crime in itself, Tony Khan. There's just so much shit going on. Well, look at MJF and Adam Cole. We see them have a tag team match on Collision last night, which as of this recording, we see them have their match on Collision last night with FTR, and then all of a sudden we see the behind the scene footage on Twitter, thanks to Draven pointing it out. I don't know. I would like to see things go a little more.
What was the back behind the scenes footage? I haven't caught that yet.
So after Collision went off air, there was a segment where MJF, Adam Cole, and FTR were all in the ring giving kudos to and showing why AEW is AEW. You know, it's an alternate promotion out there for the fans and all that. And I'm just sitting there thinking, oh, here I had hopes that MJF was going to be the best damn heel in the industry. And this right here is a reason why you don't have things like this, because now it just, in a way, it backfired on me saying MJF is the greatest heel. My wife, Sarah, shout out to her, even said, I don't like this MJF. I like the MJF that's an asshole to everybody. It's just too weird to see him doing this. And again, that's something on booking and creative dropping the ball.
Well, and I do, and I get, and for me, like some here's like for me, like, and again, like to me, like I think it all comes down to like, again, like I think at first, like the thing I used to love about AEW was the fact that like they did let the wrestlers be more of artists and they were letting them do stuff. But if it's coming down to like you know, like let's read what LaFisto wrote on her Twitter. She wrote, "It's cute how people blaming booking for the bad women's division, talent with too much power, talent denigrating each other, talent trash talking potential employees, so they never get asked to walk as talent trash talking potential employees, so they never get in as soon as they walk in. It all starts here." Like to me, like it all comes down to like, you know, they need to like, I think Tony Khan needs to be like, okay, you're the agent for this match, and whoever the agents are need to be the ones that need to book these matches. Because when everyone's trying to get all their shit in, you know, shout out to Brian Cage, get all my shit in. It's like I feel like the matches just don't flow well because it's like they don't have it. Too many chiefs and not enough. There's too many Indians and too many chiefs and not enough Indians, and there's just too many people getting their hands in the cookie jar, and they kind of just need to be told what to do. Like have it and let them have their creative thing of what they want to do. But at the end of the day, someone needs to be the person in charge to be like, no, this is what's going to happen. This is what you're going to do. And just the overflow of the match is going to look a lot better. Like, even for me, it didn't make sense that like you had, you know, kudos to Jon Moxley and like, and, you know, in the Blackpool Combat Club, when they fought, you know, Action Andretti and Top Flight and then Darius Martin, like they actually gave them a lot more than the Gun Club did and Juice. And so I'm like, okay, so these guys got to show out when they fought the Blackpool Combat Club, but now they're jobbing out to the Golden Elite on. It just didn't make any sense. And so for me, it all just needs to be more consistent. There needs to be somebody who's, you know, with Tony Khan, with strong booking, with strong, you know, like again, the strong agents that just keep the flow creative, because it doesn't make any sense at all. Any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think we all pretty much echo what you're saying right there. I mean, it's just, I know it's a tough job no matter who's behind that part of any of the wrestling companies. Yeah, to me, it's just a cluster right now.
Yeah, to make it like in the Lucha Brothers, they've been in the Ring of Honor Purgatory too, and they're winning the main event over Best Friends. And again, Best Friends were jobbers for the last 3 months, and now they're all in the main event of Dynamite fighting BCC. And then the Lucha Brothers. Again, I'm curious as to what the plan is for that. Again, you had Pac on TV now. Again, like, and that's my other thing too. Like, why are they giving so much time to guys like Gravity? Again, and even I like Minoru Suzuki too, but it's like they have so much talent on the roster already, and that's one thing I think Tony Khan needs to work on too. Is don't be afraid to give your guys losses. Like, you obviously know who you want to push and who you don't. Like, let the other guys just start taking L's and quit feel like you have to bring in other people to protect the roster that's too large as it is. It just doesn't make any sense.
So, what moving on. Speaking of things that don't make really any kind of sense, and we're going to bring this up because I know it's touching. It's very controversial. And we see on Collision, pulls it out of the big red bag, the AEW championship that they never lost. Heather, I know you've got a lot to say on this one.
Oh boy, do I, man. He ever since he came back, you know, I did not even want him to come back because of all the shit that he started. Like, and he came back and he had that fucking bag, and I knew what was in that bag because he says he never lost the title. He was not pinned or whatever. But motherfucker, that title was vacated because the shit that you started, and then here you're gonna come back and you pull the title out and you're still the champion. And I know the fuck you're not. Like, I mean, I was so mad when he did that shit. I'm literally yelling at the TV, like, no, you're not. Like, shut the fuck up. And then he gonna paint the X on it. And I was like, no, he is not the champion. And like this whole damn thing, like, what the fuck? You like, okay, Ricky Starks now is gonna fight him for his championship. You're not the fucking champion. Like, so what is even the deal with this shit? I mean, I don't get it. Like, a fake championship. Okay, now we're gonna have a match for it, and I mean, somebody help me make it make sense. Like, I don't get it.
I don't think there is any way to make sense of it other than it's pretty much an old play out of the old playbook between John Cena and CM Punk in WWE. I can't remember what year it was. I want to say it was 2000. Was it 2011 or 2012? Punk's contract was up. He leaves Chicago, defeating John Cena for the WWE Championship. And then after finally the contracts were re-signed and all that, Punk comes back a month later and holds the belt up in Cena's face saying, hey, you never beat me on the champion. And
I remember that.
John Cena raises the title, says, I'm the champion. I think that's the playbook they were trying to go with. And I eventually think we're going to see MJF versus CM Punk to find out who is the rightful AEW World Champion, unless they're going to go the direction of making Collision and Dynamite exclusive to having certain champions, which I don't see that happening with Carlos mentioning about who's the company that was purchasing or getting into the network with them? Was it Warner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't see Warner wanting that. I would think they want to have all the stars pretty much be able to attend all shows. So, but why don't we get Carlos's take on it?
To me, it just doesn't like. First of all, I don't like the spray paint because it reminds me. It's like it reminds me of the NWO, Hulk Hogan. Like it's just don't try to copycat shit. Like it came off so when he pulled the strip, I'm like, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, and then especially because the Outcasts do the same thing. It was like old and tired, and it's like this is not the way to go. And he just sounds like a bitter old guy. Like again, like there's two ways that I want this to go. So if CM Punk is going to turn heel like with this, I'm fine with that. But the other thing is I would like is if the Elite's going to come out and call him out and be like, no, you lost the title because you went off on things you were unprofessional. Like if this is going to start like going to start a promo battle, like as far as that goes, then I'm all for it. But it just, to me, it's like, I don't think separate champions is the way to go. Again, it's so hokey. And to me, so again, I'm okay if like that's the one thing if the Elite are going to come out and call him out. My other thing is if this is leading to a full-blown CM Punk heel turn, I'm okay with that. And I think you even saw a little shades, like the crowd was already turned on FTR too when they were first walking out. So it's kind of like, wow, are they going to just turn on them because they're guilty by association? So I'm okay with that. But again, for me, it all just comes down to like, I don't understand why Ricky Starks was turned heel. They should have just kept him a face because obviously people want to root for him. So the whole thing is just a shit show. And again, this just goes back to go back to go collect $200. Like, there's too many people having too much creative freedom with this, and it's a bad look, and it's and again like what you talked about your wife Sarah, like for me, like the thing I talked about like with like is MJF Otani of wrestling, and I think he is because to me like you want to pay him anything he wants to stay, and you don't want to let him go, but also like he's a good face too. Like he can play an ultra face like you showed that yesterday, but I don't want that MJF like you guys said. I want MJF to come out and call CM Punk out and be like, what the fuck do you think you're talking about? And for him to like not even call him out, and for him to like, because of this thing they're doing right now with him being a face, he looked like a little bitch. I don't like that for MJF. Like, it's like he should have been the first one out there and be like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, again, it was to me, it was just a big, a big deuce all around.
Wow, man, that's kind of pretty heavy right there, calling him a deuce. But did you have
it made everybody look bad. Like, it just, like, again, it's just like, and then it just made everybody look so awful. Like, and again, like, where are you going with this? It was bad.
Yeah, do you have any final thoughts to counter that, Heather, or agree?
No, I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, it was just horrible. Like, the whole thing, like, it just does not even make any sense. Like, I know, don't, like, why are they trying to turn Ricky Starks heel? And just this whole thing, CM Punk is just like, you're a bitter old fucking man. Like, just shut the fuck up. Like, I don't even know why you came back. Just, I'm sorry.
Wow. All righty. Well, we talked about something else that kind of is really big, but the one thing that really bothers me lately is we're seeing a lot of the Ring of Honor roster be on AEW programming. I thought the whole point of having a separate company was to keep your stars on the proper rosters if you want to develop them or move them around a bit. We've seen that with WWE and NXT, and that's what I feel like Tony Khan's trying to do is, in a way, copy what they are doing. However, I don't agree with WWE doing it the way they are either. I mean, if you're going to have a developmental brand, keep the developmental people there and bring up as stars in the main roster. Not saying that Ring of Honor is necessarily a developmental, but that's how it kind of feels, how it's been treated. We got a big star in Samoa Joe. We keep seeing him pop up as the Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And every once in a while, we'll see the Lucha Brothers make an appearance when they were the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Claudio Castagnoli, who's the Ring of Honor World Champion. I just think right now, Tony Khan needs to get a little more organized as far as his roster and keep them to where they are signed to. Your thoughts on that, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. Like, I feel like Tony Khan needs to go get his balls, and not his balls of cocaine, just his balls of not his 8 balls, like his balls. It's just, to me, like, and again, to me, like, it's just consistency. So, like, he got a lot of criticism before because, like, people felt like he was putting too much Ring of Honor on TV. And then so he stopped it and kept it separate. And then when he had this buildup, when he had a Ring of Honor pay-per-view like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, or just a week ago, actually, right? A week ago. Yeah, he doesn't push it on TV because he's afraid of criticism. But then after the pay-per-view that was poorly promoted and nobody probably watched because it was so poorly promoted, but the diehards, now it's like all the programming, like it hindered on Ring of Honor, and it just makes no sense. And it's like, I don't care what you do, just be consistent with it. And like, and to me, like, and it looks bad. Like, and again, and it's like, and again, I get like keeping it as a developmental brand, but it's like just call it like it is and don't have it on TV because you obviously, like, he doesn't really respect like the Ring of Honor. He does, but he doesn't, because it's like he's just like Vince, where he has to show that his Ring of Honor is superior to the old Ring of Honor. And so what I mean by that is, like, every Ring of Honor original who's come over to that company they're just all glorified jobbers. I mean, every one of them are nothing but glorified jobbers, and so, like, you obviously don't respect the brand that you bought. I mean, because you love it, you want to hold on to it, but it just it's just so inconsistent. And again, it's like, and to me, are you gonna create All In as a Ring of Honor and AEW co pay-per-view? Because that's what it kind of feels like he's doing. But I know that's not going to be the direction he's going in. And to me, like, Aussie Open should have never became the champions. It should have been the Kingdom. He's doing too much because he's trying to highlight his people with the Ring of Honor titles, but then he doesn't want to promote either. He doesn't know what he wants to do, and that's how it comes across on TV. So he's not sticking to his guns as far as it goes, and it's coming off bad on television. Hope that makes sense.
It does. Heather, your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know because like I don't even really keep up with Ring of Honor, because like you said, it's on that separate. Because don't you have to pay for it to even watch it?
Yeah, $10
Yeah,
a month.
yeah, no. So I mean, I don't even really keep up with it, but I'm not really understanding the whole thing of like the people that are like really on the AEW main roster going over and winning titles on Ring of Honor. That's one thing I don't understand. Just like the whole thing with WWE, like why are the people from the main roster going down to NXT and winning titles, like, and they don't even brand split. What fucking brand split with WWE? And so like y'all are talking about Ring of Honor and AEW, it seems like the same thing is going on there from what y'all are saying. So, I mean, I don't know because, like I said, I'm not really been paying attention to Ring of Honor. So.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes it hard to take the promotion serious when you just can't keep it organized, like you mentioned. When we talked last week, I know we always mock it. WWE never sticks to their guns on the brand splits because they never do. I mean, it lasts a whole maybe 2-3 weeks, and then we're seeing guys on different shows again. It's like, why do we even bother having brand splits or roster picks, or not roster picks, but drafts when we don't even stick with it? Right now, it's a total cluster. And to Carlos's point on booking and creative, it's hard for them to do anything to keep their job simple when you got it clustered everywhere. I think deep down, it's time for Tony Khan to just finally man up, get a team that can take control, and tell his roster, look, this is what we're going to go. If there's problems, let's try to work it out. I don't know. It just seems like AEW is a disaster, and I don't want to see it become a disaster because it's got a lot of potential with all
And
of
it's
the
just the wrong time to be a disaster when you're going into your biggest pay-per-view ever.
Yeah, I mean, would you eventually like to see MJF and CM Punk find out who the rightful champion is, or would you rather see brand split and have separate champions?
I mean, here's the thing is, I'm okay with separate. I mean, to me, here's the thing, and this is like what it all comes down to. And this goes back to like what your question is right here. Just make CM Punk the Ring of Honor champion. Like highlight Ring of Honor on Collision. Like you tape both shows on the same night, and that's the one thing where Ring of Honor has lost its glow. So just elevate the Ring of Honor titles to the Collision brand. You can still have MJF appear on the show, but that's your answer right there. Like let put the Ring of Honor title on CM Punk, let him elevate that division, let him elevate that brand, and go all in with it. And then if Warner Brothers Discovery wants to buy it as another show, you do, but you still have it under the AEW banner. You can promote your Ring of Honor stuff on your socials as far as like how to build up the viewership for that, but just go for that in the hopes that eventually Warner Brothers Discovery wants that too, and that could be part of their streaming deal if they do go over to Warner Brothers Discovery. But there's your answer right there. Don't muddy it with another belt on Collision. Just make Ring of Honor the title on Collision, but still have your AEW champion over there as well. That's how I would handle it all. And I would keep all the Ring of Honor titles strictly on Collision. Quit muddying the waters on Dynamite.
So you would just rather make Saturday night a Ring of Honor show than have it be AEW specific?
I would just have Ring of Honor be the championship on Collision. Exactly. Like the Collision, just say the Ring of Honor brand's exclusive to Collision, but it's still an AEW show. And there's where you blur the lines because it's just too much. And then right there, you can see if there's really fan interest, because right now it's like, there's just too much. There's too much. And then the other fans are going to get automatically pissed off because they're going to question, why aren't these people on there? Why aren't these guys that I like on there on this? That's what even when I was playing on Twitter, when I was, we're having fun with my brand split. That's what I said. I go, when I did split my brand, I said I'd have Ring of Honor people specifically on Collision, utilize both rosters. And then I would have like the New Japan people and anyone from AAA come over, they wrestle on Dynamite. And that's how I would keep my brand separate. But you still allow people to go from Collision to Rampage or Collision to Dynamite, but you keep the Ring of Honor title specifically on Collision.
Yeah, I actually can entertain that thought very well. Did you have any final thoughts there, Heather?
I mean, like the whole thing with the title, like I don't see, no sense in having separate titles for the, Collision or whatever. I don't ever want to see CM Punk have another title ever. Because like it's just so stupid, like the way he was having titles, like just basically handed to him. And I think it would be interesting to see MJF confront him about the whole thing because he was still saying he's champion. But yeah, I think that would be a good idea to have the whole Ring of Honor people just exclusive to Collision. I think that would be a good idea.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Problem solver.
Yeah, no kidding.
As you start talking about it, it's like the way it makes perfect sense. If they're already filming it there, like just keep it like that and dumb it down a little bit,
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then again, let CM Punk be the guy to elevate that brand. Makes all the sense in the world. You're welcome, Tony Khan.
All right. Well, we go ahead and wrap it up here. Well, let's get into our shout out. Well, actually, top 5. Do you have a top 5, Heather?
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to get one, but then I was rushing trying to figure out all the predictions and all that crap, and I didn't get a chance to.
Oh, no worries. Carlos, do you have a top 5 for AEW?
Sure, I can go. So for number 5, we'll go with Era Fox. Number 4, Brian Cage and Big Bill. Number 3 would be Swerve and Darby. Number 2 would be Adam Cole and MJF, and number 1 would be FTR.
Oh, interesting on your number 5 and 1. So my number 5 went to AR Fox as well.
Nice.
My number 4 went to the very controversial sign that we saw in attendance.
Yes.
After Britt Baker and Taya Valkyrie. Better booking for the women's division.
And just a side note on that, sorry to cut. And on that, Tony Khan, the answer to that is not booking to women who on Collision who have not been seen on AEW television for 6 months. That wasn't the answer to that sign.
Yes. And my number 3 goes to Hikaru Shida and Nyla Rose for a.
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
What?
Can you say her name one more time?
Hikaru Shida and Nyla Rose. Are you making fun of my accent?
I am, yeah.
Oh.
Hickory sauce? Hickory barbecue? What?
Yeah. Eat shit. Heather, will you slap him already?
Of course, somebody.
If
if it was me, I would just go with Sheeta to keep myself not looking like a jackass.
Yeah, that's what I say. I say Sheeta.
But who am I?
I don't care. I can't.
It's all out of love, John.
Yeah, whatever. I can't pronounce most of those names. I hear people call her Hikaru, some call her Hikaru, or Hikaru.
Hikaru.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sound dumb enough already. But
America. There you go.
It goes to those 2 lovely ladies as my number 3. My number 2 goes to Andrade El Idolo and Buddy Matthews for that fantastic ladder match opening up Collision.
And you forgot one person there.
No, I said Andrade, and I'm not throwing in Julia Hart. Sorry. No. She did have some element in there, but not as much. But FTR and Adam Cole and MJF get my number 1 for that fantastic tag match they had as well. So that's my top 5 there for AEW for the week. Heather, do you have any shout outs to give?
No.
That was it. Carlos?
Again, just to our friend Infrared Ralph, Parlay Joe on in Twitter, on what is it called, X now. Sarah's Kitchen 84, Eddie, my friend Eric. Again, just all the people that are helping us. Again, just a shout out to the Sage Network, Parlay Joe. Let's see who else we got here. I'm gonna just go. Mad Scientist. Again, Chris Haas is another one. Jones and for Sports has been a big supporter of us too, retweeting our stuff. So again, just everyone who's helping us all grow. We all help each other grow. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm really proud to be a part of this community. Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to also give my big shout out to this entire Saged Up network. Thank you for welcoming us with open arms and helping us get our stuff out there on Twitter X. I'm going to call it Twitter X. I don't care. And also helping us keep engaged with other conversations there on that platform. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother William and Teamster Bryan, the hype Ballard. They weren't.
I was just
able
going
to
to say,
make it.
let's not forget to mention them.
Yeah. They weren't able to make our recordings here this week, so a big shout out to those two. Hope you both are doing good. And also a big thank you to StreamYard, Spotify for Podcasters on becoming our newest platform and home to creating and hosting the latest episodes of the Wrestling Fans Insight. They've made it possible to listen to our show on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and more. If you happen to like our show, we would appreciate a 5-star review, and if possible, leave us a review for us to read on the air for future recordings. Feel free to go to our website, www.wrestlingfansinsight.com, and subscribe to get notified of our latest releases. Also, you will be able to find links to our show to your favorite audio platform. You can also interact with us in many ways. First, our Facebook page, go to the groups, the fans of pro wrestling.com, the fans of pro wrestling, Judas Priest, I'm losing it. And you can also find us on Twitter, or now known as X. You can find me at WF Inside Podcast. Carlos?
John?
Your Twitter handle.
Oh, yeah. That's at C to the LOS 77. Also at Conquer the No. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Rainbow Goodness _. And also on, no, just kidding.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Does that still exist?
Who was it that just told me? I think Kevin, somebody just bought the domain. They found it and they bought it. Some wrestling personality owns MySpace domain, but I think Tom's still around. I think, yeah, I looked it up the other day and I think it's still kind of lingering out there.
Oh, dear
Tom
Lord.
will always be your ride or die, just so you know.
Well, he never.
I logged into it, not even. I'm saying not even like a couple of months ago. I logged into mine, but it was like I couldn't do anything. It was just like froze up type thing.
now it's just spyware. Owned by the government.
Heather, your X account there?
It's at Bama Girl _ the number 4 _ EVA. Bama Girl forever.
Your catchphrase, hello.
Oh, roll tide, bitches. Sorry, y'all.
Thank you, Carlos, for the assist.
Come on, this is a wrestling podcast. We're all about the catchphrase.
That's all right. We're a team here again. All right. We'll be back again on August 6th for Sunday Takedown with our results and our predictions from the 2 PLE events, WWE SummerSlam and NXT's Great American Bash. And until then, please be safe, be kind, and until next time, please just keep being awesome. Take care, everyone.